What's going on, guys, and welcome back to True to Size with me, Alex Vass. As you can probably tell, it's a slightly different episode this week. We're not in the office, we don't have our usual backdrop. We're here at Graduate Fashion Week and we're going to take a look behind the scenes. We've also got the Nike What the Safari review coming up and a very, very special interview with the man himself, Gary Aspden from Adidas. We want to talk to him about all things free stripes and his journey from going through university to the role he's in now. So let's go and have a look. So, look who I found, Mr. More Prime himself, wandering around.
I apologise.
As you can see at the minute, we're in like the auditorium where the catwalk shows have been going on. Where have you been?
I've been checking out the event, man. Obviously, this is like a first time for me. I found it very interesting. When I first heard that Size was doing Graduate Fashion Week, I was like, oh, what capacity are we going to be in? But we got the bar, we're doing tote printing as well.
That's down on the terrace.
For me, it's just, we've seen the future of fashion. I mean, like, these students are going to be the next Virgil, Off-White, huge things, man. Do you know what I mean? This is like, yeah, the future.
Did Virgil ever do Graduate Fashion Week? No, he couldn't have done. Not a graduate, right?
I don't know, but I think he definitely trained at one of the schools.
Yeah, no, of course. There was a whole thing with the Kanye documentary.
Yeah,
I think he trained at Donda, the School of Donda, which was obviously set up in name of Kanye's mum who passed away. But
I mean, yeah, man, it's just like, these guys are designing the next shoes. There's shoe designers here.
Yeah, so we caught up with a few of the shoe designers earlier on, and we were discussing with them, you know, their kind of like inspiration process and what they draw inspiration from. So that was pretty cool.
We only see the finished product. We don't know the years that have gone into.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
But I mean, like when I think I find this as well when I see any sort of catwalk or fashion show on the TV or online, anything like that. I always look at the product and I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But
now you see.
As you can see, I am probably the least most fashionable person you've ever seen in your life.
It's true.
After more. So, you know, what do I know? But like I said, the time, the effort, the creativity that goes into it, massive shouts to everyone who's had their stuff on show. You know, it's such a monumental thing to happen.
Well, let me stop you right here because the reason for this show is what you're watching for, and we have very special models to show today, right?
Yes, so we are going to be covering the Nike What the Safari pack, which consists of the Air Max 95 and the size exclusive Air Max 1.
Which no one has seen yet.
Stay tuned, we're going to obviously do some more exploring and bring you some more content. So as I mentioned before, it's a slightly different episode because we're a bit all over the place with things going on here and there, but we are going to do what we do every single week, which is go through some of the most important footwear coming out this week. So as you remember a few weeks ago, I promised you a Nike size exclusive, and then I had to apologize and delay it because, you know, there was some technical difficulties around it. However, we have got it now. I know it has been put out on our own social media channel, but drum roll please. Dun, 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 dun. Nike Air Max 95 What the Safari. Talk to me. You're a 95 guy.
I'm a 95 guy. This is the best 95 that I've seen put out by a retailer in absolute years. I can't remember the last good one we've had, but this is amazing. Materials are on point, the colorway is really nice. I'm a fan of the black midsole, always gonna like not get so dirty, right? Yep. And these have just been doing bits online, like people have been going crazy for a man. The rumor is the numbers are low. Can't confirm on that, but I love them, man. I'm super
actually
happy.
Can't confirm anything.
Can't confirm anything, man. Yeah.
but
no, these are amazing. I'm a big fan. But this is part one of the pack.
Yes.
Now we have part two of the pack, which people are going mad for as well. And hey, Nath, come on, wake up, mate. There you go.
Air Max 1, What the Safari. Now we're talking.
These are beautiful.
This, in my opinion, as always, is so much better.
This is me, this is you, right?
It's the Air Max 1. Execution on this is excellent. Everything about the shoe, I really, really like it. There is one gripe that people are going to have with it, and I probably have a little bit as well, is the toe box shape. But listen, we can't have everything.
I don't think it's that bad.
No, but
I was shooting it yesterday and it was all right.
There's the whole kind of like conversation all the time about, you know, the old toe box and the new, the round and the square. And there was also the other Safari that came out a few years ago, the Atmos one. So that was a similar sort of shape again. I like the way that they've kind of changed and transferred the Safari print from the 95 to the Max 1. And I like how it differs. I've been reading the comments on the picture of this that we have put out on social media, and the only thing people are saying is that they would like to have seen one of the panels as black.
Okay.
Without a safari print.
I don't think it needs it, man. I think it's just fine the way it is.
I think it's really, really good. And I like the grey around the mudguard here. I think it really fits. I think any other colour from the safari print wouldn't have gone so well.
I'm just quite happy. I mean, like, size has got like a really good history with the 95, and it hasn't like let it down with this one. I mean, we had the Dave Whites.
Dave White, yep.
And this is the next one come out, so yeah, banging. And I mean, what I've heard a lot of people say about these as well, bespoke. I've heard bespoke.
Yeah. So it's got a lot of bespoke vibes. Bespoke. Why can you never say words properly?
Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Bespoke.
Bespoke.
Nothing more needs to be said about it. It's an absolute banger. These are so nice, and you can guarantee they're going to sell out straight away. So if you're looking to grab these online or via the size previews app, you better be setting alarms for the day before to make sure you're ready. If you get into the store, then make sure you get there really early. Like you said before, numbers are pretty low, which kind of gives it that more exclusive feel. I really, really like these, man. I have tried these on standard Air Max 1 sizing. And you know, it's good as well to see something from a Nike perspective as a size exclusive, because we get a lot of Adidas lines, a lot of the Terrace stuff. So it's nice to see like a different crowd and different community getting some love.
So these are coming out, these are first, right?
These are the 8th of June, and these are the 15th of June, so it's the week after. Okay. So yeah, make sure you set those. Oh, I just noticed now, like the little like leather.
You can't stop, can you?
No, mate, honestly, I really, really like these. I'm gonna be wearing these on foot like for the next, as soon as they come out. So like probably 2 weeks straight after that. So anyone who follows me on Instagram, make sure you'll see that on there. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on these in the comments. What model and what brand would you like us to do a collab on next? What do you want to see more size exclusives from? Do you want to see Air Maxes? Do you want to continue seeing more Adidas Terra stuff? Maybe something from Reebok? You never know, I might even get a Reebok Exo Fit size exclusive one day. Very, very much doubt it. But let us know, comments below, make sure.
First, for true to size, we're gonna give away a pair of Air Max 95s and 1s from the Safari Pack. All you gotta do is like, comment and subscribe, and write your UK shoe size in the comments below. The competition is open worldwide, by the way, so everyone get involved.
Bear in mind, obviously, sizes are from size 6 to size 12 in the UK, so unfortunately, if you're anything smaller than a 6, you won't be able to win the shoe, unfortunately. But we'll do another competition for you guys with smaller feet very, very soon. So next up, we're gonna go and speak to Gary Aspden. We've got a live Q&A with him right now. You know, we're gonna speak to the man about what it's been like to go from consumer to creator. And I think just a general kind of feel where obviously he's been through university himself. He can kind of appreciate the effort and the time that goes into some of these collections as well with some of the guys that we've got on show. So
if you don't know who Gary Aspden is, I mean, guy's an absolute legend. Did a lot of the early bringing in like David Beckham, all that sort of stuff into the brand. And now runs a Special line, which is a massively popular line. So the guy is just like an Adidas Donny. So stay tuned. I'm gonna go change my footwear up now and make sure I'm wearing 3 stripes. But yeah, watch the space.
I was a student once. I studied at the University of Central Lancashire. I did a degree in fashion promotions back in the 90s. It was a 4-year degree. It was a sandwich course, and 1 year of that was spent doing internships, which I had to eat a lot of humble pie doing that, because I was doing unpaid internships at the age of 27 because I went there as a mature student. Prior to leaving school, I was into hip hop. When hip hop first hit the UK, I was really into hip hop. I was a b-boy, and one of the guys who used to dance with Street Machine was a kid called Evo. Evo was an incredible dancer, incredible. And what happened was, in 1986, the whole b-boying thing kind of died off. And basically, where we all got into partying, he got into kickboxing and stayed extremely fit. So when the b-boy thing took off again in the early 90s, he basically started dancing again and was arguably #1 in Europe. But I bump into Evo, and he's like, so what are you doing these days? And I'm like, well, I'm at college studying fashion, and said, and I've been doing internships in London. He said, oh, so do you know people in brands? I said, well, a few, yeah. He said, well, do you think you could get me some free clothes? I'll wear their stuff. And so I said, well, I can see. And I'd met a woman who worked at Adidas. And so I hooked him up with Adidas. And then what happened was, he won the UK B-Boy Championships, and he was approached by the Prodigy to go on tour with the Prodigy. So just before the Prodigy would come on stage, Evo would run onto the stage and do some crazy power move to get the crowd worked up, and then the Prodigy would kind of come on. Through that, I then hooked this woman at Adidas up with the Prodigy. So she then said to me, if you can hook me up with musicians, I will give you free trainers. So I thought, well, I'm broke, I'm in my final year of university.
Very good deal.
It seemed like a really good deal to me at the time. Anyway, what happened was the woman who was hooking me up with this stuff, for one reason or another, left or lost her job or whatever. And Adidas had all these unfulfilled order sheets with my contact number on. So Adidas ring me up thinking I'm some sort of like big shot music manager. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm a student in Preston, you know. And so what happened from that was they said, we'd come down and see us. They said, we don't want to advertise this position because it's a tricky position to advertise for. It was a position called entertainment promotions. You know, my first day at Adidas, I just felt so like a fish out of water, really, because I'm being introduced to all these guys who sort of like, they speak like sports commentators and they've got their kind of chinos pulled up a little bit too high with their laptop bag. They were coming from quite a different place than I was coming from, and the role of entertainment promotions within the company at that time was seen as a bit of a joke role, really.
Essentially, what you did kind of pioneered a change within sportswear, because it kind of brought musicians and celebrity kind of status to sportswear and kind of made that link in between then. Well,
yeah, but I mean, that link had actually been made way before me in the 80s. Adidas in America signed up Run DMC, and it was like a phenomena. But then in the late 80s, early 90s, Adidas kind of really lost direction and they didn't know what they were doing. And then they were taken over in the early 90s by a French entrepreneur who basically changed the brand mark and said, we have to go back to what made Adidas great in the first place, which is where Adidas equipment and that sort of return to performance came from. So when I first joined Adidas, fashion and lifestyle was almost like a bit of a dirty word. There was no originals division at the time. They made, they made stuff like Gazelles and Superstars, but it wasn't like it is now, you know. And so I made it, like I say, I kind of, it's about trying to educate the people you work amongst as well. And so I did a bit of a job of doing that. And all of a sudden they were like, oh, hang on a minute. This is, we've got something here.
Gary, thank you very much for coming down today. You can get a round of applause, please. So that's a wrap for Graduate Fashion Week. We've been here for 4 days. We've seen fashion shows and catwalks. I've spoken to students and designers. I've seen some of the craziest collections I've ever seen in my life, and it's been a pleasure to be here. On Tuesday, I will be live and direct from the Size Store in Glasgow for a very, very special edition of Size Sessions with a very big artist that I cannot announce just yet. But stay tuned to the Size Instagram and you will see him live and direct. We might even get a sneaky little interview with him as well.
It's going to be big.
See you next week.